If you're a reluctant writer like me, the idea of journaling your quiet time or journaling your journey with God seems really intimidating. But I got to tell you, this one practice has done more than nearly anything else to make my walk with God come alive. I'm going to share it with you in this video, this part of the bonuses for the Embracing Trust 10-week video Bible study. I think we're slow to trust God because we're so quick to forget all that He's done for us in the past. When I was first introduced to journaling, I was really reluctant, but I can tell you, it's become a powerful tool in my walk with God. In the beginning, I thought I had to journal every day, and that's where my perfectionism caused everything to fall apart. But then I used my journal to record the Bible reading highlights I taught you, and suddenly my journal became a living conversation with God. I don't just write about what I read, I talk to God about it. I use first-person language. And so as we've developed this holy dialogue, it's become a record of my journey with Him so that I don't forget the things that He's done for me or the things that He said. Now, my journaling is not a perfect practice by a long shot. Some of my early journals have really large gaps in the dates. And though I'm getting more disciplined, you know what? I don't beat myself up when I don't show up every day. But as I've learned to record what I hear the Lord saying, I find myself eager for my quiet time because you guys, God has done such wonderful things for me, and He's shown me some wonderful things in His Word. And I want you to experience what it's like to actually capture those revelations. So here's what journaling looks like for me. At the top of the page, I write down the date and the portion of scripture I'll be reading. I've learned that if I'm really struggling with something, it's important to take time and first pour that out to God at the very start. As I cast my cares on Him, I'm able to receive what He wants to speak to me through the Bible. And then I write all that I feel Him saying. And let me just interrupt and say, I've never heard the audible voice of God, but journaling has helped me recognize when He is speaking. I'll ask questions. I'll say, Lord, I don't understand what this verse means. And though God doesn't always answer immediately, I'm amazed at how many times, sometimes months later, that God responds to my question through a sermon or a book or a conversation with a friend. If I happen to be using a devotional during my quiet time and something really stands out, I'll record the quote and then talk to God about what I feel Him speaking to my heart. Now, if I don't receive a huge revelation on that day, and let me just say that happens more often than not, it's still a beautiful record of my journey with the Lord, and it's become very precious. Recently, I looked through some journals from the past few years, and I was reminded of God's goodness. But you know what? Some of the entries that I thought were dry at the time, as I read them, they were alive and powerful. Because no matter how long you've walked with Jesus, we all suffer from a form of spiritual amnesia. Perhaps that's why God says in Isaiah 38, inscribe it on a scroll, that for the days to come it may be an everlasting witness. Because you guys, we're building a relationship with God, not a ritual, an ongoing conversation that we can carry on with Him throughout the day. You know, some people are like, oh, but Joanna, what if someone should read it? Well, listen, I just figure that if my children pick up my journals sometime in the future, I hope they'll find an honest journey of an imperfect woman who struggled and failed a lot. But she knew what it was like to belong to an altogether perfect God. Because I want to leave an everlasting witness for my children. I want them to know the faithfulness of God.